Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm sharing a personal story that still haunts me. Have you ever encountered a possessive lover? Well, I did, and it's an experience I will never forget. To this day, I'm still not sure if he's truly let go of me. A few years ago, I met someone on a dating app. We chatted for a while before deciding to meet in person. When we met, he seemed wonderful. He told me about an upcoming competition he was preparing for. I was genuinely impressed. Someone preparing for a competition must be skilled, right? As the evening came to an end and we prepared to head home, he told me he had no family and no place to stay. It just so happened that I had an extra room at my place. Since we had been talking for a while, I believed he was just a regular person, so I offered him a place to stay out of kindness. That night he stayed in my spare room. It seemed innocent enough. But from that night on, he never left. Eventually, we started dating. Things seemed fine until his phone broke. Feeling sorry for him, I asked my dad to lend him an old phone. It was a huge, tablet-like device. We hadn't been together long when one day his ex-girlfriend called. Naturally, I was upset and asked what was going on. He explained that he had left some clothes at his ex's place and now his ex was demanding a storage fee. Hearing this, I thought his ex-girlfriend was overreacting, but she insisted on meeting to clear things up. I felt something was off, so I decided to go with James, my boyfriend. I made it clear that I would stay to the side and only intervene if something went wrong. When we got there, James waited for his ex-girlfriend and eventually spotted a friend. James explained the situation to the friend, who also decided to stay close by. After a while, a group of people surrounded James and led him to a nearby park. Seeing this, I rushed over, worried about what was happening. They asked who I was, and I told them I was James's girlfriend. That's when I learned the full story. James had borrowed money from his ex-girlfriend, who was now demanding it back with interest. I realized James hadn't told me the whole truth, but I couldn't just abandon him, so I stayed to help. Meanwhile, James's friend had slipped away. The group wanted their money back immediately, but James didn't have any. I promised that I would pay them the next day when I got my paycheck. They didn't believe me and demanded even more money if we paid the next day, calling it a labor fee for their time. I thought about calling my family for help, but the group watched me closely, afraid I might call the police. They stood on either side of me as I made the call. We were held by them for quite some time, unable to leave. James spoke to them and then asked to borrow my iPhone. I asked why, and he said it was for collateral, claiming he had a recording that would secure the money and he'd return my phone afterward. They gave us a moment to discuss whether to use my phone as collateral. Suddenly I saw a call coming in and noticed they weren't paying attention, so I answered. It was the police. They asked for our location, and I provided a rough idea of where we were. After a while, I heard the sound of a door opening and saw several people rushing out of a car to apprehend them. When I saw the police, I finally relaxed completely. This whole incident even made the news. It was the first time something like this had happened to me. I should have seen the red flags, but I ignored them, thinking it was just a minor issue. Little did I know things were about to get much worse.